Hello and welcome to the third episode of the questions you should ask. Which one are you? Your conscious, your subconscious, or something more? In the previous video we talked about who we really are, and at the deepest level of our existence we found out that our consciousness is the only thing that we can refer to as us. We all know that there is a duality in us. One is our conscious, which we can control, and the other side is our subconscious, which we cannot control it directly. So now I want you to ask yourself, which one is you? Your conscious or your subconscious? What do you think? Please write your answer in the comment section. I love to hear and I love to read what do you think about this topic. No need to say that why the answer for this question is so important, because this is the existential matter for all of us. In order to find a good answer for this question, we need to know the difference between these two and see how much of them we are. Are we more conscious or our subconscious? Or there is something else at the deepest level? We get there, don't worry, we will talk about it and I will explain all of it. Let me explain it in our language. What created us? Everything. Okay, you may say it's God. Obviously, we all say God created all of us. He created us and everything else that possibly exists. What is God according to all religion that we know and our belief? Simply, they say that God is something that is everywhere but nowhere. It is everything but nothing. You can find it in everything. He has the infinite power, and when he want to do something or wish for something, it already happened. He is kind, he is merciful, and this list goes on, and I guess this list also infinite as his attribute. So here we have two things: creature and the creator. It is obvious that there is a duality here too. In this context, one side we stand as human, as all the creatures, and we can control ourselves. And the other part, the other side of the story is God, which we cannot control. But it seems somehow he controls us, because obviously it seems to be his right, because he's the creator and he has the right to control everything. Okay, let's get scientific, because human nature is to always analyze everything and try to make something that makes sense for himself. It can be whether by pattern or theory or experiment. Here I show you a pattern, but I'm not going to continue with theory. But I want to show you what science with experiment says. Then I will continue with my theory so you can grasp the idea. In the physics, we have something that we call the observer effect. The observer effect is a disturbance of an observed system by the act of observation. What does it mean? It means that all the objects in the world need to be slightly changed when someone is observing them. A common example is the checking the air pressure of a car tire. This is difficult to do without letting out some of the air into the instrument that is going to measure it. So some air gets into the instrument, thus it changes the initial pressure in the tire. Similarly, it is not possible to see anything, any object, without light hitting the object and causing it to reflect the light. These changes in this scale that we see seem so small, but what really happened in the quantum scale is something mind-blowing. The best example of the observer effect occurs in the quantum mechanics by the double-slit experiment. This experiment was first done by Thomas Young. He could show that light is a wave by using 3 cardboard. He sends the light through the first cardboard with a single slit in the middle, the second one with double slit, that the first one was in the middle of the double, and the third one to show the result. The result on the third cardboard proved that light is wave, and he called it interference pattern. Previously, Huygens proclaimed light as wave, while Newton was sure that light is a particle and it goes in a straight line. So Thomas Young actually proved that Newton was somehow wrong. After many years, scientists could isolate the tiniest part of light, which is photon. And then they did the Young double-slit experiment, but this time in quantum scale, to see what really happens with the photons. Do they go through the left slit or the right slit? They found out that photons go through slits randomly. But what was on the third surface was showing that photons are not following the interference pattern. They are acting as particles and going in a straight line after they pass each slit. This proved that light is actually particles and not wave. But what happened here? Why light didn't act as a wave that Young with the bare eyes and in simple experiment could show that light is wave? Can it be because we made them act like particles by isolating the photons? So there is only one factor that is different, and that is the scale of our observation. Scientists found out that this act of photons depends on if they are being watched or not. They did the same experiment again, but this time they didn't observe which slit the photons go through. And boom! The result was the same as Young's result. Light acted as wave, and the interference pattern was on the third surface. For more information and more details of this experiment and what really happened there, I totally recommend you to go through the links which I put in the description of this video. So what's really going on here? Still, science couldn't answer this question, but what they are sure about is that our observation changed the result. Light actually is both particles and waves, but our observation altered it. Who are we? Why should we be so much important, that reality and the way it works and nature works changes itself just because we are watching it? I don't know about you, but I'm having goosebumps right now. Let me talk about another fascinating theory, simulation hypothesis. I would say this is what makes everything make sense. We went through a proven effect in quantum physics that proved that our observation changes the reality. Wait a minute, just in parentheses, before observation there is something we call intention, and before that there is something we call desire. Just have it in mind, we will need it soon. So what about the theory of simulation hypothesis? This theory says that everything in the universe and reality are being simulated artificially in a computer thing, and we are all like in a big simulation that create the whole universe for us, like a player in video games, but I would say with infinite possibilities and with infinite levels. But remember, infinite is something which we cannot define. Another law of physics and chemistry is law of the law of conservation of energy. It's simple and old. It says that energy cannot be created nor destroyed. It only transforms itself from one form to another. And also there is another law in nature, law of optimization, which says whether by design or accident, nature always optimizes the motion of its stars, the planets, and the rays of light that go through the universe, and an electron, a single electron that goes around its nucleus. It's all optimized and are governed by an optimization principle, the principle of the least action. That's one of the reasons why Earth orbit is oval shape and not rectangular, because if it's rectangular then it wastes so much energy and it's actually ridiculous. Actually, in nature everything works together in the most optimized possible way, and I guess the only wastage of energy is us, we human. You may say, so what now? I want to merge everything that we went through with my little knowledge and contemplation and explain what is going on here. We can tell that we are both conscious and subconscious, but it seems that somehow there is something else that's going on. at some deeper level. Consciousness is known to us because we control it and we perceive the reality with it. And the subconscious is something that we don't have a direct control of it, but somehow it has so much control over what our conscious does. It is a part of us which is so much powerful in processing information that actually it shapes our emotions and our feelings and our personality. Subconscious of our brain indeed can challenge the most powerful, artificial intelligence of nowadays computer. Scientists say that our subconscious is so much faster and smoother in processing information that our conscious can't even notice that what is going on, below the conscious level. But there is something else other than conscious and our subconscious. We call it unconscious mind. I'm sorry, but this video is getting too long, and I think it's better to wrap this topic in the next video, because still I want to talk about the unconscious mind and merge these three together and make sense out of everything we went through. And this video is already getting about 10 minutes and I can't make it longer. In the next video, we will use what we have learned here and some more to get to know ourselves better in order to be able to answer the question of who we are. So that's it for this video. Until the next one, just smile and have fun. Bye.